Welcome to week 2 of the Elevation of Harmony Astrology for Avatars, Sun, Moon, and Guidance. In this introductory video, I'll be making 5 points. Number 1, you came into this incarnation with a guide as to your true will or deepest purpose. Number 2, you access that guidance through planets on the balancing or middle pillar of the Tree of Life, specifically 3, the Sun, using the astral tides. Number 4, Moon, by sign and house. You energize the Kundalini Force to come up to the Sun through your Moon. And finally, number 5, I'll be offering a couple of cautionary notes, namely, it's important to cleanse and balance your astral body. Let's get started. Point 1, you have a guide that came with you into this incarnation called the Daimon. So if you recall, when you chose the incarnation, you were here above manifestation and you were picking basically your incarnation in order to, this is the incarnation, this is true will, this is the universal will. And when you came down into the incarnation, you forgot more than likely what your intent was. So you have this being that basically corresponds to the angel that comes down with you. And in this video, I'm showing you how to access that guidance. Point 2, you access your daimonic guidance, that elemental guidance that remembers your true will or deepest purpose through planets on the balancing or middle pillar of the Tree of Life. So if you recall, there are 3 pillars on the Tree of Life. I went over this in one of the first videos of the last week's series. And you have on the left-hand side manifesting planets that bring something down into manifestation. On the right-hand side, you dissolve that manifestation back to its source, back to your source in the absolute or in the divine. But today we're looking at the balancing planets, the middle pillar. And the main point here is you have essentially all of us participate in I am, which is, it's Neptune, but it's undifferentiated being. But when you have, and the true will, again, absolute, it's absolutely universal, but through your form, you're going to bring something specific down. You're going to have a specific experience, and the I am is going to be coming down through what's symbolized by Pluto, which is the Kundalini. And that's going to come through the sun and the moon. Now, I do want to say that a lot of times when we hear about Kundalini or when it's discussed as though it were something specific to my body. Like, I have my Kundalini, you have yours, and that is not correct. The Kundalini is also universal. It's something it's a power that's absolutely universal. And what we learn how to do is to channel it for the benefit of all so that the true will, the will of the divine, may be done. And let's go back to the sun and the moon. So just to say that we're going to, as you're going to see, the sun is going to be worked with through the astral tides, and that is going to be the fourfold elemental tides coming through Binah. So it's going to come, spirit is going to come down, and it's going to come down through your sun, and that those fourfold elemental forces are going to animate your life. And that's going to happen through your moon, the fourfold secret door for tapping into the astral tides. Point 3, by house and sign, your sun in your birth chart shows you how to access your daimonic guidance, the guidance of that elemental, familiar, or helper spirit that basically remembers your true will in this incarnation. To understand how that is possible, we have to go a little bit deeper into the theory. So if you look again at the middle pillar, and specifically that central sphere of your sun on the Tree of Life, it's through the astral tides. The secret here is that the sun in your chart, the sun in your birth chart, is showing you, on the one hand, how do you access that guidance for the best, and I'll go into that in a minute a little bit more deeply, but to understand that is your heart chakra, and that, even more importantly, there's actually a real link between your heart chakra and the sun in the solar system. And in particular, there is a way to gather the energy of the 4 astral tides that come through the sun in the solar system. So there are different times of day that the different energies come through more strongly. And by tapping into each of those 4 at the specific 4 times of day, you're able to strengthen and balance your heart chakra and actually access through the Universal Kundalini Force coming through spirit, coming through the Akasha, coming through your sun. Now, specifically, the sun in your chart is going to show you the best way to enhance that work. So if you are already tapping into your solar center, and one way to do this is through a ritual. I'm going to show you just the name of it. I'll put some links down below. But the ritual is called Liber Resh Vel Helios. It's a solar adoration ritual, so it's the fourfold tides and working with those 4 very actively. But once you're doing that work, or doing something similar in a different tradition, then you're going to look at the zodiac sign and know that it's that sign through which those energies are being expressed in your life, so that when you work positively with the qualities of that zodiac sign, you're able to enhance your guidance. And secondly, the house that your sun is in your birth chart shows you the area of life that is especially good for tapping into and enhancing the daimonic guidance coming through your heart center via the astral tides. Point 4. The moon in your birth chart allows you by house and sign to nurture or to tap into your sun where the astral tides are coming through. This is how you energize your incarnation, by fueling it with the Kundalini Force. So let's take a look again at that image of the Tree of Life. And noticing that there's a secret fourfold door in the moon that is the secret fourfold door for tapping into the astral tides. Well, what does that mean? Again, if you look at this chart here, you see the Universal Kundalini up above or between the supernal spheres and the manifested part of your life. That Kundalini force comes through the fourfold or 4-petaled Muladhara chakra. And so by you working with the forces of your moon or your libido or your astral in a way that's positive and removing any obstructions or restrictions, then you're able to energize the sun. There's a link then between your sun and your moon. And so if you look at your moon sign and study the negative and the positive qualities of that sign, because especially as applied to the moon, because if you see in your life that you've been exercising any of the negative qualities of your moon, which basically mean leading to an outlook that confuses the source of that power in yourself, or trying to wield it as though others are outside of you, remembering instead that we are one, there is one being, and that force of Pluto or the Kundalini is universal. What allows you to nurture spirituality, unity with other beings. The true will is something that doesn't conflict. If you're doing your true will and I'm doing mine, we don't conflict because there's already an order of the cosmos. When there's a conflict, somebody's out of alignment. So look at your moon sign and look at how do you positively use it to nurture unity, to nurture that respect for the star being of each one of us, and eliminate any of the negative ways that you do that. Then look at the house of your moon. The house of your moon is the area of your life in which you're best able to nurture your spirit, to allow that Kundalini force, that libido, that sexual force, to energize your spirit coming through your sun, and then allow that daimonic guidance to remind you and guide you step by step to realize your will, your deepest purpose for coming here. Point 5, as a note of caution, it's important to cleanse and balance your chakras, and especially your Muladhara, which is the moon. It's Yesod in the Tree of Life. That chakra in particular, but all of them, we have to work with in a way that balances and cleanses them. because Kundalini, whereas in the pop spiritual culture is often talked about like it's just this wonderful, blissful thing that we want as much as possible, like a panacea. But the truth is, it's a universal force, and as such, it can wreak havoc in a vehicle, a chakra system that is not prepared for it. So when you even begin thinking about doing something like this, it's important to do some balancing and cleansing. For balancing, I already talked about Liber Reshval Helios, essentially working with one way or another, whether you choose this ritual or something else, working with the sun in a balanced way. So working with the fourfold ties in equal measure to each other so that all four elements are equally present and attended to and worked with in your life. But the second one I'll recommend is some form of a banishing ritual. In the Western esoteric tradition, the one that most people are familiar with is the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. But there are similar rituals in many cultures. Medicine wheel, there are different ones, and essentially, what do you need? You need the four compass points and bringing spirit down in. So essentially, you are setting up symbolically the uh, four corners of the universe, your universe, and then creating a container, a circle, and bringing your own angelic self, or invoking at least the spirit of that, into the center of all. So that type of cleansing, and there are many other cleansing rituals, you can look that up. It's essentially cleansing your astral body. The cleaner your astral body is, the fewer forces that can come in and disrupt or destroy, or basically, what are we talking about? Your own demons, whether they are simply psychological or whether they're manifested outward in other people and things. Keeping those at bay, keeping a bubble, keeping your astral body strong and clean and balanced. So those are some recommendations. I put below some links for you, but of course you can go much further afield, again, into different traditions to find something that resonates with you. I invite you to join me for my live, intimate 6-week seminar, The Elevation of Harmony, Astrology for Avatars. During each and every session weekly, the class members and I will discuss one feature or indicator of true will in your astrology chart. That's your deepest purpose. For more information or to enroll, please click the link in the description below this video. Thank you.